the question of problem solving. The problems, people encounter problems, people go through problems, issues. So we're going to define those terms: problem solving, and the other term is problem solving skills. So that's our topic. Now, a problem and something that hinders you, something that blocks your success, something that goes against what you are planned to do. So a problem is an obstacle. Like in the picture above, in that slide, you can see somebody pushing an object. So a problem is like somebody who is pushing an object. You are just pushing an object which is heavy. You're not able to tackle it. You're not able to handle it. You're not able to push maybe the object further because it's heavy. So a problem is like a load. It's like a weight that you are pushing. So when that illustrate is well illustrated in that picture presented in that slide. So look at that picture again. Now then, this training has three learning outcomes. It has three objectives. And the first objective is that by the end of this training, the attendee should be able to define the term problem, explain the term problem solving, and discuss the term problem solving skills. So there are three terms we are going to define here. The term problem solving skills, and the problem solving. Those are three major terms we want to understand in this discussion this very afternoon. Now, let's begin with the first term, a problem. In my definition, I have said that a problem is a conflict or disagreement between people or parties. So a disagreement between people or parties is called a problem. So majorly, problems are disagreement between people or parties. So problem solving at its most general was defined to achieve some outcome when there was no known method for the individual trying to achieve that outcome. To achieve it, complexity or difficult alone did not make a problem. So a problem in this case is a complex thing. It's a very difficult issue. It is something that can pose challenges. So what you need to do when you are trying to solve the problem, then your intention is to come out with a solution, with an outcome, a good or a positive outcome, so to speak. So then we also say that problem solving is the act of defining the problem. You are defining the problem, determining the cause of the problem, identifying, prioritizing, and selecting alternatives for a solution, and implementing a solution. So there are key terms in this definition. We have determining the cause of the problem, but before that you define the problem, you determine the cause of the problem, you identify the problem, you prioritize the issue, you select alternatives for a solution, and then implement a solution. So problem solving revolve around those key terms, those key concepts. So you don't just wake up and start solving the problem. You need to first of all define the problem, determine the cause of it, identify, prioritize, select alternatives for a solution, and implement a solution. So that the process of problem solving, as we shall see later. Now look at that photo again. The photo is about problem solving. The photo is about problem solving. And in that photo, you can now see that a problem is about an issue to be dealt with. And you can see problems are solved by individuals, they are solved by people. And it's very evident in that photo there. There are a number of individuals who are out or who are set to solve the problems in that photo. So in that photo, you can see people are trying to come up with solutions, and the problem solving process has the steps. And you need also to do some research. You need to use your brain to solve a problem. The problem is difficulty. You need to make decisions whenever you are doing what we call problem solving. So it's a whole process that involves the human mind. The human mind is engaged whenever it comes to a problem solving. That's why we are talking about cognitive aspect, and you need to do some research. You need to work on research. You need to study. You need to follow the steps, and you need to use some skills and techniques to solve the problems. Now, then we also say that problem solving is considered a soft skill, a personal strength, rather than a hard skill that is learned through education or training. You can improve your problem solving skills by familiarizing yourself with common issues in your industry and learning from more experienced employees. So problem solving is a personal strength. It is not a hard skill that is learned through educational training. So it's something that is acquired through experience, through interaction with the people who are knowledgeable. It is something that is acquired through maybe observation. So it's something that can be observed. So you can observe a problem solving skills among people with the knowledge, people with the skills, people who have the competence, and the people who can actually help you achieve the process. So we are saying that you can improve your problem solving skills by being familiar with the common issues in your industry, and learning from more experienced employees. So the experience that people go through, help them to solve and sort out problems. So it's not about going to the education or the training that gives you the knowledge and the skills to solve problems, but it's about the experience, and it's about dealing with the common issues that come by in the industry. And the industry in this case can be the company, can be the secondary school, the primary school, it can be the university or the tertiary institutions. So we have also said that problem solving is about problem analysis and resolving it in the best way possible for that situation. So it's about problem analysis and resolve it in the best way possible for that particular situation that arises. So this process contains analyzing the problem. So you analyze the problem, you do an analysis of the problem, and analysis has to do with the root cause analysis, what caused the problem. You find out what caused the problem first, then define countermeasures for the problem. So find out the measures to deal with the problem and implement the right solution for that situation. So you implement the right decision for that particular situation. So for problem solving, people need critical thinking and analytical skills. For those within the company, within the organization, need these analytical skills. They need a critical thinking skill, and they also need to be very creative. So problem solving is about analytical skills. It's about being creative. It's about defining the problem, finding the root cause of the problem, and looking at the countermeasures of the problem, and even the implementation of the right solution to the problem. So problem solving is all about those mechanisms, those issues that we have touched on. Now, then we proceed. We proceed. So then we have also said that problem solving includes posing and solving problems, posing and accomplishing tasks, posing and answering questions, posing and making decisions. So you need to have to stop at a point and solve the problem. You need to have to stop and complete some assignments or tasks. You need to have to stop at one point and answer the questions and even make a decision. So when you are solving problem, then you need to put a pause on an issue. You don't just handle two things at the same time. So stop, then tackle the problem and then move forward or move on. So problem solving consists of moving from a given initial situation to a desired goal situation. So you move from an initial situation, the first situation, then you get to the desired goal situation. So your desire should be to deal with the problem, to tackle the issue, to tackle the problem, and that should be the goal of problem solving. So it is a process of designing and carrying out a set of steps to reach a goal. So you carry out the process to reach a particular goal. So it's about carrying out the process. So that's why we are saying that problem solving is about a process. It's about a procedure. It is logical, and it's not actually one a day event. It is a process that needs a preparation. It's a process that needs organization. It's a process that needs all the to take part in that given or in that particular process. So we move on again and say that problem solving is the process of observing what is going on in your environment. So you observe what is going on in your environment. So it's the concept of observation, identify things that can be changed or improved. You identify those things that can be changed or improved. Diagnose why the current state is the way it is, and the factors and forces that influence it. Develop approaches and alternatives to influence change. Make decisions about which alternative to select. Take action to implement the changes and observe the impact of those actions in the environment. So that's a long definition of the term problem solving, but I'll make it very easy and simpler to your level. So problem solving is about observing what is taking place in the environment. What is happening in the environment? That is very important. Then apart from the environment, then you will also look at basically identify things that could be improved. Look at the things that you need to improve on. Diagnose or find out why the current situation is the way it is at the moment, and the factor that influence that situation. Develop approaches and alternatives to influence change. Then make decisions about which alternative to select. then take action to implement the changes, then observe the impact of those actions in the environment. So problem solving is about all those many things. Now, say for example, you are living in a place where there is corruption, people are looting, people are stealing from the company. So that's the environment that you are in. Then what you do is you observe the environment. You observe the environment. You observe what people normally do in the evening hours. Maybe they steal some products from the company. So you observe that environment. So once you have observed the environment, then identify things that could be improved. What could be improved? Maybe they're being paid poorly. That's why they're participating in that evil activity of stealing. So check the things that could be improved. Then find out why the current state of affairs is the way it is. Why are these people stealing company and they don't steal? So find out the reason why they are doing things in such a manner, and the factors and the causes that influence it, the factors and causes that influence these people to steal from the company, yet are being paid the salary. Then find approaches and alternatives to exchange. Maybe if it is the question of the salary, then you think of motivating them by giving them incentives. You can motivate them by giving them allowances. You can motivate them by giving them promotion. You can also motivate this group by ensuring that they get a good salary. You increase their salary. Salaries can be increased to these people so that they don't actually steal from the company. So once you have those alternatives, then think of which alternative is the best. If it's allowances, you have thought of allowances as an alternative, promotions, taking them out for trips, and salary increment. So then find out which solution, which alternative is the best. If it's the alternative of salary, then give them a high, maybe increase their salary. Then take action to implement the changes and observe the impact of those actions in the environment. So then those are things that do happen in any given situation. The scenario, the problems arise. You need to find out why people make such decisions. So you can pick on the best option, the best alternative of the problem, the best option which could be used to solve the problem. So, but these alternatives and options can be picked once you have decided on which one is the best, and it can only be best, it can only be thought of the best if you have involved all the parties, you have involved all the individuals within the organization. So involve members of the organization, involve them, talk to them, and find out which one is the best option, then implement it to the best of their ability so that members cannot actually complain or lament about the decision you have made. So the alternative that you choose, that you pick, ought to be ought to be thought of, or ought to be uh, given priority in accordance to what people expect from you. Now then, problem solving is a means by which an individual uses previously acquired knowledge, skills, and understanding to satisfy the demands of an unfamiliar situation. It is the means by which an individual uses previously acquired knowledge, skills, and understanding to satisfy the demands of an unfamiliar situation. It is the ability to identify the nature of a problem, deconstruct it, break it down, and develop an effective set of actions to address the challenges related to it. So it is about uh, the previously acquired knowledge, skills, expertise, and understanding to satisfy the demands of any unfamiliar situation. It's also the ability to identify the nature of the problem, deconstruct it, and develop an effective set of actions to address the challenges related. So that's another definition of a problem solving. You deconstruct the issue, you deconstruct the event, you find out the proper solution to the problem. So problem solving is about having the knowledge, having the skills, and understanding to satisfy the demands of an unfamiliar situation. So a problem is an unfamiliar situation, and if you are dealing with an unfamiliar situation or scenario, then basically what you need to do is to have the skills, get the skills right, knowledge, expertise, experience to tackle that unfamiliar situation or scenario. So basically, that's the definition of solving. Definition. So problem solving is at the core of human evolution. Human evolution comes by came by issues. So it is the methods we use to understand what is happening in our environment, identify things we want to change, and then figure out the things that need to be done to get the desired outcome. It is the source of all new inventions, social and cultural evolution, and the basis for market-based economies, and it's the basis for continuous improvement, communication, and learning. And still, that is also a very long and winding definition. We are saying that problem solving is identification of what is happening in our environment. You identify what takes place in the environment, identify things you want to change, then find out the things that need to be done to create the desired outcome. So what are the things that you want to change? Then it is the source of all new inventions. So to solve problems, then remember new inventions, the discoveries in our nations, in our countries, was a result of problem solving. The social and cultural evolution and the basis for market-based economies. Now look at this case. The issue to do with the, say for example, the electricity, the power, the electric bulb that we use currently was discovered by somebody called Albert Einstein. Albert used 999 discoveries. So he tried 999 times. So he had a problem. So there are 999 problems that he went through. So, but what Albert Einstein says is that he discovered 999 times. So because every step he was making, every part of those from 1 up to 999, every aspect he was touching on was like a discovery. So he said that he did not fail 999 times, not make problems 999 times, but he discovered 999 times ways in which to make a bulb, an electric bulb that you are using currently. So you see, what we're talking of, these are the new inventions. It began with a problem. Albert Einstein had a problem that people had been using maybe a poor source of power or electricity or lightning. Then he thought of the electric bulb. Then he came up with that order in which he used his expertise, his knowledge to solve that problem. And that's why human beings are enjoying the use of the electric bulbs in their houses, in their homes, in their schools, etc. So the source of all new invention that we have, the social and cultural revolution, is as the result of problem solving. Somebody must have had a problem somewhere. And that's why he came out with the solution to that particular problem. So problem solving should be taken with a lot of seriousness. It's an area that people disregard, but it's an important area because many organizations are facing problems. There are a number of problems in organizations. People fail to, say for example, they fail to solve problem, but in the end, after failing to solve the problem, then there is a lot of suffering. There are problems that arise. There are things that do not go right. So ensure that whenever there is a problem in an organization, let that problem be solved uh, immediately. So then we also say that problem solving is a process. It's a process of solving any kind of a problem, and this process is acted upon in some steps. And so problem solving, as we see here, is a process, and it's performed through steps. There are steps. These steps start from identifying the problem. So you identify the problem, then you find out the root cause of the problem. Then after the problem and its cause are identified, the next step is to select alternatives for the solution and implement the solutions. So select the alternatives for the solutions and implement the solutions. So problem solving is about that process. So it's a process that is quite detailed, beginning from identification of the problem, then the root cause of the problem, the causes should be identified, then select alternatives for the solution, and lastly implement the solutions to that given on that particular problem. So then that's a process of problem solving, but we shall look at it in detail at one point. Now, then we shift from problem solving to problem solving skills. So these are skills that help you determine why an issue is happening and how to resolve that issue. Why an issue is happening and how to resolve that issue. It's one of the key skills that employers seek in job applicants. The problem solving skills is a key area that employees or employers seek in job applicants. Employers are looking at people who can resolve problems, who can come up with solutions to given problems. So it is very important that you acquire these skills and you develop these skills for purposes of solving issues that emerge in organization. So problem solving starts with identifying the issue. So you identify the issue, that's the first step. Then you come up with the solutions, implement those solutions, and evaluate their effectiveness. So you have to identify, come up with solutions, implement, and evaluate the effectiveness of the solutions realized. So problem solving is important because of the following reasons. The first one is that it helps you determine why an issue is happening and how to resolve that issue. Why is that issue happening? Say, for example, why are people rebelling in an organization? Why are people rebellious? Why are people not doing the right thing in an organization? They are ever complaining. So why an issue is happening. So you determine why an issue is happening and resolve the issue. Maybe it's they're rebelling because of the poor salary. Salary is not good. Cannot search. That's why they're rebelling. They're going against the orders given by the managers, the team members, the team leaders, etc. So then you find ways on which to resolve that issue. So it's one of the key skills that employers seek in job applicants, and it starts by identifying the issue, coming up with the solutions, then you implement those solutions and evaluate their effectiveness. Now then, why problem solving skills? So these skills will help you to solve the issues quickly and effectively. So you'll be in a position to solve the issues quickly and effectively. And it's one of the key skills that employers seek job applicants. As employees with these skills tend to be self-learned. So job applications, for example, so in this case, when you're applying for the job, during the interview, say, for example, you are given a scenario, you are given a question, and that question is a practical aspect of life, an issue, problem within the organization, an imaginary problem. So then you are asked to solve that problem before the employers, probable employers. So in this case, remember, employers are looking for people who can solve problems, people who have the competence, people who have the ability to solve problems. So it's not about the certificates. It is not about the training, but it's about sometimes the problem solving skills. So which skills do you have in this case to solve problems that are within the organization? So employers are looking for people with the capacity to solve the problems. So it requires quickly identifying the underlying issue and implement a solution. So you identify the underlying issue and then implement the solution to that issue. So problem solving is about the identity of the issue, then implement the solution that you have come up with. So it is not about just sitting down and designing an issue, but you need to have this skills to implement the solution. So we have to reach there, but I just want to play a video briefly. Then in this video, you'll be able to understand some of the key issues that we have been talking about on problem solving. On problem solving.
For what ultimately transform our world. And by using the acronym IDEA for solving problems, it can help you be a productive part of that transformation. Whether one wants to label a situation as an opportunity, challenge, or a problem, IDEA is a simple four-step process for resolving whatever issues we face. The process includes identifying the problem, developing solutions, executing your plan, and then assessing the extent to which the plan resolves the problem. Most often, we start by observing the symptom or effect of a problem. For instance, we observe that a person is not feeling well. But if we want to solve a problem, we need to discover the underlying causes so we can treat the actual problem, not just the symptoms. Oftentimes, problems are like puzzles with pieces that interconnect and overlap, forming a system. This can make it difficult to separate symptoms from the underlying root causes we need to address. To identify root cause or causes, a common method is to ask ourselves why. What is causing the symptom? With each answer, we ask ourselves why again. This creates a chain of responses, ending when we can no longer determine why something is taking place. The end of the chain is the root cause we need to address. For more complex problems, using tools such as a fishbone diagram or a concept map can help provide clarity, structure, and confidence that you have identified those causes most relevant to the problem. After you have identified any root causes, the next step is to develop potential solutions. Often there are a variety of potential solutions, as well as multiple paths or ways in which we can address the problem. Potential solutions are derived directly from the causes that were determined in our previous step of identification. When there is more than a single solution, we need to determine which solution is our best option. This means comparing solutions against one another and selecting the one that will maximize the return on our investment of time and resources. To compare, you can use pros and cons, a weighted rubric, or for a more sophisticated approach, conduct a SWOT analysis, where you look at the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats of each solution. After selecting a solution, we need to develop goals that we can execute. Well-structured goals are SMART, meaning the goals are specific, measurable, actionable, relevant, and time-bound. Actionable is a key aspect of goals that takes us to the next step of problem solving, execution. Execution is where we focus on implementing the actionable tasks in our goals, designed to achieve our solution. As the solution is achieved, the root cause should be reduced or eliminated, and we can then move to assessment. How you choose to monitor progress in executing a goal will depend on the nature and complexity of the goal. For instance, take the simple example of a person that is sick, a symptom of which is a fever. It is determined that the root cause is an infection, and the best solution is prescription medicine. Our goal then might be as simple as taking one pill a day for a week. To ensure execution of such a simple goal, one might just commit it to memory or make a note on a to-do list. However, if the goal is extremely complex, we may want to consider using project management tools, in effect converting a complex goal into a full-blown project, monitoring our execution towards the main goals through the use of sub-goals as milestones. Assessment is the last step in our problem-solving process, where we determine and document the extent to which a problem has been solved. It is in the assessment phase that we return to the beginning and a look at the initial symptoms or effects that started our problem-solving process to begin with. If the symptoms have not been alleviated, if the effects are still present, then our solution was ineffective, and we must revisit our problem-solving process again. Let us return for a moment to our sick person with a fever. If the fever is still present, we want to assess, did the person achieve the goal? In other words, did they take the medicine as directed? Next, was the medicine the right solution? If so, we want to revisit our root cause and ask, are we still confident that the root cause of the fever is an infection? For more complex problems, we can use a variety of assessment tools or methods, including but not limited to surveys, tests, analytics, and focus groups. The assessment phase of problem solving is where we learn, grow, and move forward. It is our after-action review, our lessons learned. If there's one thing we hope you remember, it is the word idea. Use the word idea the next time you want to solve a problem. Try it and see if it works for you. If you found any information in this video useful, all we ask is you share our link and give us a like.
Now, you have heard the speaker talk about that model. There is that model that he has used to talk about a number of issues, and he has used the a model for purpose of making us understand how the problem solving strategy or skill looks like. So in this case, we want to say that the discussion about the problem solving has been elaborate in that particular the model of the idea. And then this model, it talks of the focus is on something to do with the idea, the letter I in the word idea refers to identify. Then we have D, decide. E is execute. Then A, meaning A is assessment. So he has talked about a number of things, and I don't want to belabor. Some of those things we have talked about, and we shall not repeat talking about the same issues that we have discussed in this lecture. So, but that was just a video to make you understand better what we have been going through, and it's just a summary of what we have been discussing in this discussion on problem solving, and the problem solving skills. And with those remarks, I just want to stop there for today. Then we shall pick up another day. Thank you for your time.